Navidad que vuelve, tradición del año. Unos van alegres, otros van llorando. Navidad que vuelve, vienen las parrandas en tiempo de reyes. Todo el mundo canta la 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 la.
Para saludarte hasta aquí he llegado, te traigo en mi canto mi mejor regalo, y del sentimiento brota esta canción, vengo saludando nuestra tradición.
Y alegre vengo de la montaña, de mi cabaña, que alegre está. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores, de las mejores de mi rosal. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores, de las mejores de mi rosal.
Tú eres la causante de la pena mía. Tú eres la causante de la pena mía. Y yo me moriría si algún día dejo de amarte.
Y yo me moriría si algún día dejo de amarte. You see, you listen, repetition.
Para saludarte hasta aquí he llegado, te traigo en mi canto mi mejor regalo.
If you don't know it, make it up.
Brota esta canción, vengo saludando nuestra tradición.
Con un verde pañuelo tendido sobre el
Shout out to
negro
everyone.
campo
Are we live?
de la noche.
Oh, yeah.
El cristal de los cielos se pinta de Navidad.
Y la brisa un rey de campanas, con su canto de amor nos envuelve. En el tibio brillar las llamas
En cada hogar, casitas de la montaña, altares de Navidad, caminito que se baña con perfumes de verdad.
I kind of know it.
Navidad, Navidad, para todos la felicidad. A cantar, esta noche de amor y de paz. Navidad, 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 para todos la felicidad.
Oh, yeah.
A cantar, esta noche de amor y de paz.
ya nos despedimos con sinceridad, les agradecemos.
The goodbye song.
Adiós que nos vamos, ya de su balcón, quiere con ustedes nuestra tradición.
Y vuelvo y digo de nuevo.
Ya nos despedimos con sinceridad, les agradecemos la hospitalidad. Adiós que nos vamos, ya de su balcón, quiere con ustedes nuestra tradición.
Está bueno, digo de nuevo.
Ya nos despedimos con sinceridad, les agradecemos la hospitalidad. Adiós que nos vamos, ya de su balcón, quede con ustedes nuestra tradición.
De nuevo, vamos ahí, arriba.
Ya nos despedimos con sinceridad, les agradecemos la hospitalidad. Adiós que nos vamos, ya.
Here on the
Daily Boom.
and a mental retardation center costing
PayPal and Super Chat.
will be built is to identify all of the causes of mental retardation and to develop more effective techniques of treatment and rehabilitation. The ability to prevent mental retardation is our ultimate goal. To reach this point,
YouTube, Discord, participants,
and the federal government have all come a long, long way.
Now, many of these
flat earthers.
are so severely retarded that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to take care of them at home. So all we can offer them is good care and sympathetic understanding. But there are other
Flat earther.
in these institutions who really need not be there. Those are the ones that are classed as trainable or educable, and you'll hear more about them later.
Are we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously.
Gravity. La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open. La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity.
Obviously.
La La Land, La La Land, La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity.
Obviously.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Confusion, what button do I press? There you go, I pressed the right button. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in the YouTube universe from Florida. This is Jose JG Boom. If you're not subscribed and only lurking in the background, stop lurking and subscribe to my channel. Well, I'm trying to do one live show a day. Make sure that the bell notification icon is on. And when you come into my live shows or watching this recorded, you can hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. If you forget or if you just didn't remember, I'm remembering you. Go ahead and hit that like button. There's a few ways that you can support me, to support the channel and keep the internet bill and the electricity pay. There's a PayPal link pinned in the live chat, but it's also in the description box. There's a super chat feature for those who are watching live. And there's a super thanks thingy when the video is uploaded on YouTube. So if it is 2:09 p.m. in Florida, USA, and it's December the 12th of 2022, you're watching this live. We will be in the YouTube live Discord server daily. Boom. Let's go. Shout out to Brandon Cook. Hard to get time out, and he got timed out. Fred Bailey in the house. Joe Mongoose. Farmer's Boy. Martin. Real Cygnus is here. Also Peter G. Justin Franks. Fade to Black. And Citizen 9. That's 19 people watching and only 10 people typing. All right, we can do better than that. Pop in the chat box. Few characters will show up. So let's invite somebody with good visuals about this Artemis landing that I didn't watch anything. I haven't watched anything of the landing. And I saw the takeoff. I kind of follow a little bit, but I want to see this landing. What happened? What landed? Where it landed? When? How? Who? Where? All of those questions. Hey, Joe Mongo's not swearing. That's profanity, hardcore profanity there you just type in the last message. Charlie Wells, what's up? This is an Arwin show. Boom, bitches. Patio furniture, I see you. Tommy McFlatty, let's get the boom. Hey, I'm going to throw a link of the YouTube live voice chat over here. So go ahead. Actually, I'm going to throw a link to the whole server, to the Daily Boom Discord server. So you clicking, if you're not part of it, you will have capability of posting and speaking when you show up, because we will be on it, on the case. And you can jump onto the voice chat and talk to us. Join here. That's for everybody. If you are new, if you haven't joined this voice, the voice chat like this on YouTube, so you are in, like you'll be heard, jump in, man. It's easy, it's free, it's convenient. Go ahead. It's hard. It was tough. First few times I struggle like to show my face on YouTube. It's like silly. I still feel weird that I'm looking at the camera in here. I mean, the visual, like I'm on camera, I'm on YouTube live. But it's a handful of you, my body's watching this shit. Now, anything could happen. I mean, anything could happen. You never know. So it's good. It's good to hang out here. I think the YouTube live voice chat is open. And all I need is a few people to join, and also people to share a link with me, links about this Artemis landing. I don't know. I'm lazy today. I don't want to look it up. I feel lazy. So if people get something, share it with me. Tinkerfield, what do you know about this landing? Did you watch it? You have something to share with me?
No, I didn't watch it. I'm just aware it came back. That's all.
Do you know what it is? I'm asking you what landing? Like what?
I'm sorry, what?
What am I talking about? Landing about what?
I'm assuming Artemis, but maybe I'm wrong.
You're right. Just testing you. Farmer's Boy, what's up?
Hello, mate. Yeah, I watched Math M2M was live streaming the whole thing, so I was sort of dropping in and out and sort of watching it, and because an awful lot of the time, there really wasn't much going on, because it's like it's coming back, and then eventually, yes, the two craft separated and Orion came down, and it all seemed to go as planned. It all seemed to be quite successful.
Was it a good visuals, like to make a movie, a documentary or something? Like, was there good camera angles?
Personally, I think this is the one area that NASA's been lacking with this is visuals and live footage, because they're obviously, before Orion came back down, they had to separate from the service module. Now that's the one that's got all the cameras plastered all over it. Do you think they showed that live? No.
Yeah.
No, it had that crappy CGI that had been showing us all this time, which I don't think has been very impressive whatsoever. But anyway, I'm sure at some point they will have footage of that and they'll show it to us. But it separated. The capsule came down. There was 2 points at which, because the way it's entering the atmosphere, they lose all data from it. It goes into what they call a blackout. There's no signal coming from it, but it seemed to survive that very well. And then I think they remembered they had cameras inside the capsule, because you could see out through the window before they lost the signal. You could see it was sort of coming down towards Earth. You could see the curvature of Earth through the window. And then eventually you could see the drogue chutes come out. They helped stabilize the craft. And then the main chutes come out, and down she came. And splashed down in the ocean.
When did this took place? The touchdown.
Yesterday.
I'm just trying to remember what time it was. It was gone midday your time, Jose, I think.
Was this a live stream? NASA or who?
Yeah. NASA was live streaming it. I just don't think they did a very good job of it. But that's me.
Where is it? Nobody have shared that.
I got a yeah. As Farms Boy was saying, I live streamed it. With the approach and stuff like that. I've got to agree with that. I think NASA actually came through eventually because we got some good shots from I think it was the docking window, and you saw the plasma during re-entry and stuff like that. And I think NASA came through pretty well in the end. And we saw also the parachutes deploying and all that kind of stuff.
It's like they at one point they remembered, oh, hang on a minute, we've got cameras on this thing. Maybe we ought to show the view, you know.
Do you think they temporarily forgot then or something?
They were so busy doing other things. It's like, guys, we have got cameras. Yeah, I mean, the classic shot would have been from one of those cameras on one of the solar panels showing good old Onion and the service module separating.
That would have been nice. I do agree with that.
Yeah. I mean,
hold on for me.
Showing that, they just completely missed a trick with that. But there you go.
Let me holler one last call to anybody here participating or in the YouTube chat box. If you have a link for this Artemis landing that we're talking about, I would like to. I haven't seen it. I don't have capability of searching today because I'm lazy. If anybody want to share a link, we will all appreciate it because we wouldn't be looking at the icons in the screen. At least we'll have something to look at in the background. And I want to make an announcement, very important announcement. It is 2:17 for me in Florida, but at 3 p.m. my time, so in about 45 minutes, Blue Marble Science will have a premiere. I don't know how long it is, but we will focus our attention to that premiere. Is that premiere hours long, Blue, or is it minutes long?
No, it's about it's less than 10 minutes.
That's beautiful. Perfect. Well, what I can do is at that time we will spam the link for Blue in the YouTube live chat box, and everybody will click on that link and watch the premiere in Blue Marble Science. So he get all the trolling comments in the comment section. You know, just burn him as much as you can, as hard as you can in the comment, and then you all go back here. So I'm gonna give him my view, my click, and my like by streaming it here. So I'm gonna be watching it instead of being quiet looking at the camera. At least people know what I'm looking at. But it shouldn't be anybody watching but one person in my channel. That's me, and everybody else would be in Blue Marble watching his premiere when it comes live in about 45 minutes. Blue, is that cool?
That's very cool. Sorry about that, Jose. I didn't realize you were going live. I was setting that thing up at the time you came on. So
that's all good. Perfect. Yeah, it doesn't hurt for I don't know who I got 20, 30 people watching in here to click on the link that will be posted and jump into it.
Well, seriously, seriously, like I said, you don't have to go to my channel to watch it. Just watch it here. That's fine. You can drop by and visit me some other time if you want to.
Yeah, or if you want to stay, then you have to, or I will come for you. Leave a comment in the comment section to let them know that you watched the video and give me some feedback. I will come for you guys.
Time-wise, from yesterday, Jose, the splashdown Eastern time was 12:40, 12:39, 12:40, right in that range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
if you look in David Boom Live, there's a link.
I just catch that, yeah.
And if you look at the timer on the top left-hand corner, if you then if you fast forward it when it goes down to about 8 minutes, see that go that until it's about 8 minutes, and that's pretty much from re-entry and onwards, really.
Yeah, that's it. We're about 20 seconds away from that time. Yeah. Right. I'm sharing my screen. If you guys click on it, you will see what I see. Can you see what I see?
Look how excited they all are. They're all just, woo!
They got a job to do, you know.
I know, they've been sat there for bloody hours doing it. I bet half of them are struggling. Can we have some more coffee? Yeah.
Boo, this is boring.
God knows, I did plenty of things whilst this was going on.
Then.
5 seconds, let me skip.
Keep
Here we go.
A bit.
No closed captions, and are they speaking?
Speak off and on.
This view on the deck of the USS Portland.
We'll show you bugger all.
Hey, look, it's curved. Look at the curvature of the. Any planet that criticize this, any planet that will watch this video, they say, "Yeah, I don't have to see any further. Look, there's the curvature of the Earth or whatever." They think we just fisheye lensing everything. I say, I don't have to see anything, even though it has nothing to do with the Artemis. You know?
Spoiler alert: ship bridges aren't that tall.
There you go.
There you go.
And there is a view out of the cabin camera of Orion as it continues a series of role reversals. We have data back from the spacecraft. Flight Dynamics reports Orion
Is this out of a window?
straight and narrow on a true course toward its splashdown site.
Yeah, just one of the cabin
Forward bay
camera
cover
windows. There's
jettisoning
about
less than 3.5 minutes from
2 or
now.
3 cameras that are looking outside camera windows, I think, and also the docking window as well. It's a few different cameras.
150,000 feet off the ocean.
So in a minute, you'll actually start seeing the plasma start to form, but at that point, you get a blackout. But then it comes back again.
Plasma? What do you mean by plasma? I can't visualize that. I can't.
Orion now
Blue can probably
traveling at
explain
Mach 10.
plasma a bit better than I can.
But what do you see then? Do you see what?
It looks like flame, basically. It's not flame, but it looks like flame.
Okay.
You'll see it shortly. But it actually happens twice. It looks like you're getting re-entry twice. It's what's happening is they do like they call it a skip re-entry. They nickname it, where it's kind of bounces off the atmosphere once, it goes back up a little bit, and then comes back down for the proper re-entry. Final re-entry, I should say.
Orion's speed now down to Mach 6.
Wait. It comes down. It does that first test, burnout, whatever you call it, re-entry. But you say that it just goes, it's like a bounce, and then it goes back a little bit, and then it comes forward. How is that going to stop? How many miles per hour is it going? Is it going to stop and go back, and then go forward instantly at that speed? What?
No, it's like have you ever skipped a stone across a pond or a lake or whatever? That's the same sort of principle.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Break in the mid-air like Bugs Bunny, go back a little bit and then chewing, go very fast forward. Okay.
Yeah, so bounces once and then just goes into the atmosphere for final re-entry. So it's like you skimmed it across the pond. You've done a really bad skip with your stone. You've only done one bounce and it's gone under the water. That's basically what's
2 minutes until forward bay cover jettisoning.
I can't get the cartoon visual of them hitting the brakes, going back a little bit, and then going forward very fast.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a little bit
Orion,
distorted, right?
Feet
the
now.
angle, the camera. This one.
Yeah.
Is that the surface of the Earth?
Yeah.
A little bit wobbly. I mean, it's not bad, but it's like a little S type of thing, very long S.
When it rolls like that, they're actually steering it.
Yep.
Spacecraft about to go subsonic.
The center of gravity of that capsule is asymmetric. So it's a little bit heavier on one side than it is on the other.
Okay.
And by rotating the capsule, they can determine which direction the airflow is striking the heat shield. And that pushes it around different directions. They can steer it in any direction. That was a technique they developed for Apollo. It's exactly how Apollo re-entered the atmosphere.
45 seconds until forward bay cover jettisoning.
Except Apollo didn't skip, did it? It was just a
Orion now at 50,000 feet.
It did exactly what this does.
Did it? It skipped, did it? Oh, I didn't know.
Precisely.
That. Oh, okay.
They don't really skip. I mean, they like to say it like that, but they fly it into the upper part of the atmosphere, and then they intentionally pull out of that trajectory, roll it around, and push it back out of the atmosphere for a short time, and then come back in again. They're just bleeding speed off.
Oh man.
Well, a spacecraft coming back from the moon will enter the atmosphere at roughly escape velocity. It has to.
Drogues have been deployed.
That's why you get that 25,000 mile stuff on its way back in. It was just under 25,000 maximum, I think.
Yeah, 24,500 miles an hour apparently from the initial entry interface.
I got a question. How does this look? How does this look? What is falling right now? Is it a capsule like a triangular thing, or is it like a plane look-like thing? Oh.
No, it looks just like the old Apollo capsule.
No, one of those. Okay, that type of capsule.
Yeah. Now you're seeing the drogue chutes.
I thought this was a wing, like a plane, one of those like
reported by the recovery team out in the Pacific.
No.
All right.
The descent rate is right on the money.
Apollo.
Orion's velocity now down to 282 miles an hour. Range to splashdown 1.5 miles. 10,000 feet now.
So is he going right now at just slow?
Yeah.
Yeah, the drogue shoots just slow it down a bit and also just sort of stabilizes it before the mains come out, basically.
And there go the mains.
There they go.
And we're on mains.
So the ones that comes down from the SpaceX, when SpaceX launches and separates and bring back down to land back down those big ass, the bodies of the rockets or whatever it is, they come in faster than this. This is a lot slower because I know it's not going to land down in a specific, but is that why? Because it's just the other one, I don't know. This one is taking
SpaceX rely on one of the rocket engines to slow it down right at the last moment. This relies on the parachutes, so it is going to come down slower.
We have three fully inflated main chutes.
The SpaceX first stage, when you see it coming back down, everything's done in the last few seconds.
Yeah, super fast,
Perfect descent.
I mean, the air slows it down, but really it's guiding itself to its landing spot. And then in the last few seconds, that one engine lights up, and that's what really slows it down. And then right at the very last second, they pop the legs out because that could upset it. Whereas it's all you've got are the parachutes. So the parachutes open at quite a high altitude, and it's splashing down in the ocean. It's not coming down on a landing pad or a barge or anything.
But those parachutes are taking a big hit because it's coming at what? Over 1,000 miles per hour, like falling.
No. By the time
there it is,
it's going
Pacific,
much
America's
slower
new
than that.
ticket to ride.
When it breaks the atmosphere
and
start grabbing into the air, the atmosphere
Orion
here, it just slows down. Automatically.
The lower it gets, the thicker the atmosphere gets, and that helps slow it down. But you can't open those chutes until it really has slowed down quite a lot. And even then, if you're watching, the chutes take quite a while to fully deploy. They don't just go from nothing to parachute.
Down, just seconds away.
Because that probably tear them apart.
Thank you very much. Very good explanation about the whole thing. Go ahead, Matt. Yeah.
Can I just point out though, before anybody criticizes my timer, my timer was actually spot on in the time that it was supposed to actually land. It's just that the NASA's latency was about 45 seconds behind or so with their stream. So my timer was actually spot on. So it's NASA the wrong. NASA's wrong, not me.
Yeah, good.
I like that. Yeah, it's not me, it's NASA.
Well, it's true. It was the same. It was the same with It was the same with the Falcon Heavy the other week. Same thing.
Yeah.
We got 41 people watching, only 17 likes, and also there's only 35 votes. There's actually more votes than likes. So please vote more in the poll on the chat box and hit a like. Splash down.
Boom.
From Tranquility
now, if there was people in there, will they be sitting in a chair and strapped down with like shoulder things? But then when they hit, pull all that, the heat, they're gonna hit hard and they can break their spine, right? Compress.
Unofficial splashdown time, 11.
No, it doesn't hit that hard.
And 30 seconds.
I mean, yes, they're going to feel it, but it's not hard enough to break your back or anything. Blimey.
Yeah, they have seats that got a certain amount of pneumatic protection or whatever, sort of springs
An
or
emission
whatever.
elapsed time of 25 days, 10 hours, 54 minutes, 50 seconds. That's
I mean, they even got a redundancy. I mean, it
Splashing
could
down
still land on 2 chutes.
off the
and
coast of Baja,
the
California.
astronauts should be fairly okay. It'd still be a bit of a harder hit, maybe. So they could lose 1 chute and it'd be fine.
Crew module uprighting system.
I know some
now
F-111
being,
pilots
inflated for
who could argue with that. The last one that I watched crashing, the whole nose comes off and they have parachutes that open. You don't eject separately. I think that's got 3 parachutes and 1 opened.
And we have a report that Orion is
They're in
stable
hospital.
1, upright, the way it should be.
But they were alive, which is the point.
19 miles per hour, is that about right? Maybe less. Impact.
Once again, splashdown.
Maybe. That sounds right in the
9:40
ballpark.
a.m. Pacific time, west of Baja, California. After a textbook entry for the Orion spacecraft, bringing its 25-and-a-half-day mission.
I mean, don't forget, if it's doing 19 mile an hour, it's hitting water. Water at that low speed has still got give in it. Right. It's not like you're landing on concrete. And like Matt said, the seats have got basically got suspension built into them, and
they're landing down on their back, so they're like taking, like sitting down back. Okay,
exactly.
If you're familiar with the Apollo Command module at all, Orion really does. Outwardly, it looks about the same. It's about the same shape. It's
also pretty interesting.
Conical. They're coming in backwards because obviously
beacon is on.
The fat end is the end of the heat shield,
5 crew module
and the astronauts face forward. So
shout out to Matt Mike. He couldn't figure out how to set up his chair, and even though it didn't work right.
Great shape.
Damn.
It was the parachute that killed him.
Just in the orientation that had been expected.
Messed up.
Yeah.
There's not much happens now, really. I don't cover the full recovery because I had to head out. But it's not a whole lot.
Little bit. Let me see. They show it from close, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do at some point.
Flawlessly, and we're learning how to work with it. You were watching the moon, just kept. It's just on the. I wish.
But I think a space.
Right towards the end, I think there's a bit of a close.
It's a couple of hours before they get anywhere near that thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, so fortunately I didn't have the time to stay and do the whole thing.
They had quite
we are on the
quite
way.
a large potential landing area, didn't they? And they obviously had to stay out of it.
But to technology,
I think this guy, he's gonna speak. He's gonna show us a close up.
Yeah, there is somewhere, I think.
The coast of Baja, Mexico. The operation, as you've heard and been
Oh,
commenting,
Daryl on location.
It is going pretty smoothly at this point.
It's not often, usually on location. He usually stays in the studio.
As we wait for the ammonia that is inside the capsule, it is used for
ammonia. There you go.
The boats will be
that's a bit closer.
With buoys.
The atmosphere, and until that's complete, the boats will be on hold. Now, the Navy divers right now at this moment are outside of the 120-yard radius around the capsule. That was part of the plan. They will close within just a few feet to start but that will only go to close in is on its way to capsule.
So what do they have? Some kind of like cranes and systems in the biggest boats to load the
No, what they actually had was the ship. There's below deck. There's kind of like what they call a well deck, and they actually flood it, and they actually float this thing into it, sort of thing, and then they float onto like a cradle, and then they remove the water.
Like a ramp or whatever, like you're just grabbing it from
sort of. Yeah. They just float it into it. Yeah.
Imagery, photographs, both.
All right.
Top.
If they had astronauts, they would They do actually. I think they're going to recover the astronauts first, and then recover the capsule into the ship afterwards.
With small personal boats or something.
Yeah, boats or helicopters or something. I'm not 100% sure what the plan is.
Right.
For Artemis 2.
When they're astronauts, like, will they look inside the windows like for aliens and stuff, or?
I would hope so. Yeah. I don't know what you're bringing back. Blimey.
The USS Portland. The well deck of the USS Portland will be flooded to about 6 feet. And those Navy boats will attach their lines.
Good times.
And then pull alongside.
Yeah, they use ammonia for cooling. So it's actually got to vent or get rid of all that before they could even approach. So obviously, as you know, ammonia is pretty dangerous. So yeah, it was quite some time before they could even get near it.
Let me shout out to everybody. I haven't Stingray's here. I don't know if he's busy, but Stingray, if you're there, it's a shame, right? That NASA, the company, they don't have the grasp on what people like. People like better visuals and like things to see. A little video clip with TikTok and YouTube and all the Instagram, all that shit. People like visuals and videos, but they do this NASA mission so boring for the audience to see. Is that fair, Matt? If you were in charge of something, they say, like, hey, you know what? You're gonna be our public source for the public, you know, for what they see, what they don't see. Would you ask him for the camera angles and stuff?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's a fair comment, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a after the launch, there was a little bit of some of the press sort of talking about how poor it was and it wasn't that great and stuff like that. And NASA basically saying with Artemis 2, they're going to have more cameras, better cameras. And I think, there'll probably be some improvements, I think, with Artemis 2. But yeah, no, I think it's a fair comment. Fair comment.
I think anybody, if they put a youngster, if they put somebody younger that actually knows about social media, they will know what they will like their friends to watch, you know, to get excited, at least to see, like, oh, look at the angle, look at that, that's so cool. Cinematic, I mean, whatever it is, like, make it look cool. Fucking A.
Yeah, I don't really know why they don't sort of do that like they say they do with SpaceX. I mean, SpaceX obviously is a private company. NASA probably hold things a little bit closer to the chest. I mean, there's cameras all over that thing. But a lot of them are engineering cameras. So I think NASA, for whatever reason, they're kind of reluctant to at least show those live. But not all the cameras are live either. A lot of those cameras when they recover it, they're going to, get the data for the images and, and stuff like that, which NASA probably will release later on, I think. Although they said they would. But yeah, in terms of live footage, not brilliant. Not bad, but not brilliant.
All right.
It was crap.
Do a stunt.
Yeah, you would say.
Get a mermaid.
Maybe the pessimist.
They didn't even show a live view on the rocket when it bloody launched. I mean, the basics.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, who was in charge of that? I mean, SpaceX, they cover it all in cameras and they give you all these multiple views inside and outside the rocket. NASA, it's taken off. Here's some shit CGI for you. Like you're watching an engine launch, Oh, thanks. Really? I mean, people have called me a NASA fanboy, but yeah, sorry, they dropped the ball on this one. They really did.
I'm kind of in between. I'm kind of like, I do agree with what you were saying, but I'm kind of like in between, really. In between saying it was crap and saying it was good, We got some stuff, I'm happy.
I mean, look in my screen share, right? This is a kind of a random image GIF type of thing. This look cool. This is something cool to look at. Doesn't matter about. I mean,
yeah, well, obviously they couldn't have showed anything like this because there weren't any crew on board. But I mean, some of it they got. When,
right?
like when it did the burn to go to the moon and it separated from the last stage. They filmed that. Yeah, well done. But like I said, when they're coming back. And the two spacecraft have to separate. They have to dump the service module. It's like, it's got bloody cameras all over it. Why didn't you film it? Why didn't you show us?
Where's the transmitter for it?
Well, I would have had the transmitter on the service module myself.
You might have. Maybe they didn't.
Yeah. novices.
So now, fingers crossed that they actually, the NASA, all those cameras, well, recording at all times, and they can put something together, a compilation of like the whole mission from takeoff to the orbit and visuals, and then the landing. The whole thing. They should have in all these cameras. Just grab somebody that make good edits and put something. I don't know. Whatever music, if it's mute, but the visuals, bro, it should be there, man.
I do agree with Farmers in terms of the launch itself. It was a bit of a poor showing. I've got to admit, I was a bit disappointed myself. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting to wait for them to go to the camera that was on the rocket and get the view going back down to Earth, and it was like, oh, we've gone CGI. Oh dear.
I mean, obviously, we know we're not going to get anything actually during the actual re-entry itself, obviously, in terms of live. But no, you can't. And obviously, we know that. But, we saw bits before that through that window, and I thought that was great personally. But, so, yeah, I was expecting it to be absolutely awful. It was all going to be just going to use CGI, and then we'd see the parachutes open and splash down. But we got a little bit more than I thought. I thought it was going to be a bit like the launch. But, no, I think it's fair comments. Fair comments.
All right. And now, how many years is the waiting for the next mission related to Artemis?
2024 is Artemis 2. That's where they're planning at the moment. When in 2024, we're not sure yet.
And that is what's different than this one?
Much the same as Artemis 1, except for there's going to be a crew on board.
Yes. I'll tell them to turn their alarm off.
Yeah, I know, it's the neighbor.
There we go.
There you go, yeah. We did.
I think Artemis 2 is going to be a 10-day mission.
Yeah, shorter. Yeah.
Yeah, Artemis 2 is doing an Apollo 8.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the first crew, and they're going to go to the moon and go round it. They're not going to land. I haven't even decided what lander they're going to use yet. I don't know whether it's been designed.
Then the third mission will be them landing.
Yes.
Yes. But they're going to be testing the landing on the moon with people on it. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. The second mission should have been just like this one, but then landing on the moon, and then taking off, and then taking off again and locking into bring it back.
I can see why you're saying that. This mission has tested, everything except having crew on board. So the next mission, Artemis 2, is going to be this again, but with crew on board.
But that's the landing on the moon and taking off from the moon.
They're going to test that when they do Artemis 3, because that's going to be the first landing on the moon for this series.
That's dangerous, man.
Well, yeah, but at some point, you've got to do it. If you're going back to the moon, at some point, you've got to be, your test is landing on the moon. I mean, that's what they did with Apollo. They could train in simulators and weird flying bedstead rigs and all the rest of it. But at some point, somebody had to be first. And they knew with Apollo 10, they tested the system to a fair degree. They had got a lunar module. They had detached. They had gone down a ways and then come back and redocked. So they knew all that worked. But somebody had to be the brave men to go, okay, we're actually going to fully test the system in the only environment it could work, landing on the moon. You couldn't test the lunar module here on Earth because it wasn't designed for the conditions here on Earth. It wouldn't work. The only way to test it is to go and test it.
All right.
And that's what Apollo 11 did. And that's why they had so many contingencies in place in case something went wrong.
And I guess they had all of the NASA, all the thousands, maybe 100,000. I guess everybody thought that it was a better plan like that. Not testing the actual landing on the moon, but testing a crew on there.
I mean, bearing in mind, with Apollo, we had Apollo 10, which came within quite a few short kilometers. I think 30 kilometers of the lunar surface. So they kind of did that test. But bear in mind, that was all a complete unknown. They hadn't landed on the moon. They didn't have a lander to land on the moon. They didn't know what it was going to be like.
That's why I'm not bringing that up, because that hasn't happened. In modern times with modern technology, that's something totally different. We're talking about this technology.
So they there was so many unknowns about landing on the moon. So now they know a lot more. they're landing on the moon. So that once they actually produce the lander, they might actually test the lander unmanned. I don't know. They might well do that, but they haven't built one yet. So hence the reason why I don't think Artemis 3 is going to happen in 2026. So that's by the by. But I mean, there's a lot more knowns about landing on the moon than there was, in the 1960s.
Yeah, because they've done it.
They've done it. Yeah,
that's that. Because if you look at Apollo, the first manned mission into space with Apollo was Apollo 7, and that was just Earth orbit. Apollo 8, they went and orbited the moon. Apollo 9, they tested docking with the lunar module in orbit, extracting it, and all the rest of it. They didn't go to the moon. Apollo 10, they went to the moon, did a practice landing without landing, and it wasn't until we got to 11 that it was like, well, okay, let's go for it, let's do it. So they had tested everything as much as they could, but like I said, you couldn't test the lunar module here on Earth because it wouldn't work. It's not designed for Earth. Gravity, atmosphere, all of it. It just would. The only place it would work is in space and on the moon. So they tested it as much as they could, but at some point you've just got to bite the bullet and go for it.
Let me ask Blue, do you think there's an argument to be made? I mean, like, just a hint. Do you think somebody argued this point? Let's say, like, why don't we test the landing? Like, we do an extra mission instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, the second one should be this with people on it. Okay, then the third one will be sending a mission, landing it, and then exiting the moon, like hooking it up and coming back to the Earth unmanned. And then they already have now all the parts. And now the fourth mission will be everything that we have done, testing the humans, testing the landing, and take off the whole thing.
I don't know. I don't know that you actually need to do that. They've got some pretty high caliber trained pilots flying those things. We know, as farmers were saying, we know a lot more about what's going to happen now because we've done it 6 times. So it's not like we've not done it. We've never done it before. We have. I don't know if I would waste all the resources required and take my chances on automation. Landing that thing. The fact of the matter is, it's a damn good thing we had astronauts in Apollo 11. If they had not had them, that limb would have crashed on the moon.
Why?
They would never have gotten it back. And they probably would not have known why.
Why not do it faster instead of waiting 2 or 3 years in between? I mean, do it the next month, the next week.
Yeah, I've had that argument. I've had that argument as well, and I say, well, why? Because don't forget, during Apollo, they were basically racing the Russians. They were in a rush to beat the Russians. Well, we're not on any rush this time around. There's why go so quickly? Why take the risk?
No, to do it, to get it done, to do it, and then to move on forward with the more future plans, do it faster.
Sure, but wouldn't it be better to do it safely, though, wouldn't it?
Yes,
do it properly,
safely.
make sure. Yeah, exactly.
It takes 2 years to read all the information that is being read in real time, plus already studied. It takes more than a year to.
There was limited computer design, and they were trying to make the decadal deadline that Kennedy laid out to do it within the decade.
No, but we're talking now. Let's not go back to the past.
Well, now we have, you said safety, and how much money they're going to throw at it. There's only so much enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Well, they already been to the moon. They only had to land, and they didn't do it. And they're probably not going to trust the landing or the takeoff in hands man this time. So you don't want to try it first time with people in it.
They're going to do it. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to bear in mind. I mean, you see, this is the thing about not only is it new technology, it's different technology as well from the 60s. If you're going to make comparisons, it's not just new; it's brand new. So, because it's different technology, you're going to need to test that different technology to make sure it works the way it works, or it should work. You know, because I mean the only comparison between the Apollo system and this system is in terms of the actual capsule itself as well, is that it's just the shape. That's it. Everything else is completely different. Completely different.
Well, they're not going to test it without people on it. I guess the best of lucks to them.
Yeah, of course they are going to test with people in it. That's what we're talking about. Artemis.
Without people. They're not going to test it without people first.
They just have tested it without people. What do you think Artemis 1 was?
It didn't land on the moon. It didn't take off from the moon. It didn't land or take off. That's the point of contention. They're landing and taking off from the moon and in the moon.
The only reason for it, Jose, is because they haven't built a lander for it. That's the only reason. That's it. End of.
Yeah, they ain't got one yet.
Yeah, haven't got one yet. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's risk assessment. Yeah, they'll test it as to where there's a confidence level, and this lander in Artemis isn't going to be with the lander, doing independently. It's going to go from an orbiting base. So it's a very, very different scenario.
First landing isn't. The consecutive landings will be. Yeah, so that you're talking about Gateway. For the initial first landing in Artemis 3, they're not going to be going from Gateway.
No.
Gateway's not going to be built by them. It'll be built, and landings after that will be.
Was it Neil Armstrong that said we knew it's a 50-50 chance?
No, it was Buzz Aldrin, I think it was, and he said he had like a 1 in 3 chance, he thought, about not coming back. He said in an interview once.
Yeah, well, if it crashes time, they know they exhausted that luck on Apollo 11.
Yeah.
And they're not going to take that level of risk again. That's why they ended at Apollo 17. They said, well, why take it to failure? One of these is going to fail. Let's just quit on a high note. And money dried up.
No, I don't think it was quite like that. I think the politics and funding got in the way of that. I don't think that was the reason, to be honest with you, Larry. Sorry.
Don't forget what else was going on, certainly with the Americans when all this was going on. There's this little argument around the other side of the world they were having.
Yeah, called the Cold War.
Called the Vietnam War.
Oh, the Vietnam War, yeah, true.
Yeah,
war by proxy.
Yeah.
And public interest, even public interest in Apollo had waned. They were finding, whatever they were doing with videos and stuff, people weren't even watching.
Well, watch that bit in Apollo 13 when they say it's, none of the TV channels are showing it.
Yeah.
By 13, the general consensus was that people just weren't interested anymore, and the TV channels weren't bothering to show it. Oh, we've had 11, we've had 12. They've been to the moon. We had all the excitement of Apollo 11, Apollo 12, gone back and doing it again. Oh, now Apollo 13 are going to do it again, and no bugger was watching it. Then obviously all of a sudden everybody was watching it, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, like the first series of SpaceX launches were highly watched, and now they can launch 2 or 3 a month, and it's barely a page 6 note.
I now, if I'm sat here, say that it's like during my day, if I'm sat here working, there's a SpaceX launch. I'll open that up on the other screen and watch it. But half the time I'll go, there's a SpaceX launch. No, I'm busy watching telly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All I want to hear is, did the satellites fall back down, which happened once? And when's the last time they lost a booster?
Not for a long time.
Not for a long time. It's been
when
very reliable.
When you take into account the number of launches they actually do, it's probably one of the most reliable systems there is out there.
Yeah.
And they did have one batch of satellites fall back down.
Did they? I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah, they had one duff batch, didn't they? Yeah.
They lost the batch because of a solar wind event that they didn't account for.
Yeah, but, it wasn't their fault. At the end of the day, SpaceX, it was SpaceX satellites, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah, it was Starlink.
Yeah, it was Starlink, yeah. But yes, it had, if you watch the video they put out of them developing the system, and the number of crashes and things that they have because it's a natural part of designing a brand new system. Things are going to go wrong. And then you watch them trying to land these things out on the barge. You know, they got it wrong so many times before they got it right, but it's now one of the most reliable systems out there. But I was just the same. I was just the same with watching the ISS. You know, when I got the app on my phone, you can watch the ISS go out. I was out there last night, go, whoa! Now I look at it and go, nah, not bright enough. I'm not fussed anymore. I've seen it so many bloody times. It's like, yeah, whatever.
All right, about 5 minutes to watch Blue Marvel's premiere.
Oh, nice.
And then, as I said, you guys can watch it here, or you guys can go. I would like, for real, for all of us to go to Blue channel and type in the chat box over there, and then come back here when it's done. We'll still be live a little bit longer.
So basically, what you're saying is you want us to responsibly troll Blue. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, please.
I would like that a lot. Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm gonna share the link one more time.
Yeah, be sure to tell me in the chat how brilliant Bev is.
I'm not going to do that. Definitely not.
You know what? Got a bridge too far? Is that's a problem?
Just a tad.
$46 people watching, 28 likes. We're looking good on the poll. There's a poll today. 45 people have voted. If we can make it up to 50 votes, that'll be cool. The poll is, my favorite mission is... What is your favorite mission? Well, I gave you 4 options. You choose the best one that fits. You at least choose one. And your favorite mission will be A, B, C, or D. Artemis mission will be your favorite, or maybe Mission Rescue Princess Peach will be your favorite. Maybe Mission Impossible will be your favorite mission, or how about Police Academy, Mission to Moscow? How about that? Please vote.
Oh no, those later ones weren't very good, were they?
I cannot vote, and I'm not going to say what I would vote for, because then that will be kind of subconsciously working in your brain. It's getting you there.
Oh, I remember watching that. That first one came out in the cinema, and when that theme music started, the entire cinema joined in with absolute no prompting whatsoever. All of the blokes in the cinema were going bom 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 bom, and
right.
all the women were going doo doo doo.
But I bet that was like promoted. Was promoted a lot, right? And video clips of that song or whatever they do before the movie. So people, when they were from the first time, they already knew the song, you know.
And it'd been so long. I mean, well, I don't think that there hadn't been a Mission Impossible film, had there? You'd got the old series in the late 60s and the 70s, and I think they had a bit of a stab of it later on in the 80s. But I don't think there'd ever been a film of it. And then, well, here we are, film, Tom Cruise.
Jose, I looked at my calendar today, and I saw today is the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. You should know what it is, I believe. I think it's a...
I'm lost. You want to repeat that? My brain was somewhere else, man.
Yeah, the 5th of what?
The feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Guadalupe. Yeah.
Okay, I have heard that name. Okay, but not a Puerto Rican thing. Not a Puerto Rican like famous like
Spanish
festivity. Yeah, Spanish, but I think more from South America, Mexico or whatever. It's actually not. It's known because I knew the Guadalupe, when I paid attention. But yeah, not a lot of people celebrate in Puerto Rico at all. Yeah, that day. It's a South American, Central America, South American thing.
I thought that the show would have it in the name, but it's not.
Oh. Lots of things happened today, but there's one in particular I'm not going to mention because it involves a certain gentleman called Hitler.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, I
Was
just
he
look on
born?
Wikipedia
Did
on
he
this
die?
day, and it's like, no. He today was the day in 1941 where he thought it
let's
might be
call
a
him
good
Hector.
idea.
Let's call him
Yeah,
Hector.
it might be a good idea if Hector thought that they should round up and kill a certain group of people.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was
Yeah.
they like today, many years ago. Okay.
Yeah, today in 1941 is when they went, "Hey, lads, I've had this idea."
All right. Blue, you gonna start that premiere or what? Ha.
No, it should do it by itself.
Yeah, it's down to YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, when it starts, there's going to be volume in here. So if you guys want to go ahead, you can stay here in the voice chat, maybe mute for a minute or comment if you want to. But
well,
we'll check out.
I'm
The
watching
link
Blue's
is out
video,
there. Yeah.
but because I'm in Discord with my wireless headset, I can only hear what's going on in here.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
watching. I'm watching, but I'm listening in here.
Did it already start?
No.
Okay.
Unmute.
Unmute. Hey, wait, what's up? Who did that? What?
Yeah, premieres never count down on the last seconds of premieres and lives and stuff for some reason. Don't know why.
Yeah, I'll mute the first few minutes of the coming soon in 2 minutes music. There you go. Oh, look at that. He got a special 1 minute premiere. Very nice.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one before. That's quite good.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
glad.
have no
I'm glad
idea what the hell that is.
It's cool. It's the countdown for the premiere, yeah.
Yeah. It looked cool, so I thought, what the hell? We'll play it and see.
Yeah. Different than that, that 2 minute classic one been out on for years. Yeah. So.
I'm glad YouTube gave you the option to actually have different ones because that music was annoying, wasn't it?
Sometimes it doesn't give me all the options, man. Sometimes it just doesn't give me the option, and it sucks.
I haven't done a premiere for a long time, so I don't know.
It's the wonderful randomness of YouTube.
I haven't used it in months. Maybe they have already fixed this issue.
Jose, you're way ahead of Blue Stream.
How come?
I don't know.
Impossible. All right, I'm on. We're on.
On rare occasions, we get to
here
witness
comes that
moments
chuckle.
of sheer genius.
Love the chuckle.
This is not one of those moments. Warning, severe facial and monitor damage alerts in effect. Get out those oven mitts. Push the monitors back out of punching range. And let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
But back to the measuring rod. So, what you're interested in then, what you're telling me is you're interested in where the crosshair crosses a line on a measuring rod that is a known distance above what the measuring rod is sitting on, correct?
Well, yeah, that's like what it would become one of the pegs of the two peg, wouldn't it?
Right. So, if you drive a tall stake up in the ground and stand the measuring rod next to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you read through your auto level 2 meters. And that's the height of the rod above what it's sitting on, right? And it's sitting right next to the stake. Now, what if you put a mark right next to that 2 meter mark on that stake and take your measuring rod away? Will the auto level still show you that you're at that 2 meter mark that you put on the stick or not?
You wouldn't have any way to reference that position to the reference frame, the auto level mark.
Why not? It's exactly 2 meters, exactly the same as the measuring rod was.
Yeah, well, you guy with the measuring rod's moved to another position and you're reading another number now, aren't you?
So you put another stick up. And now it reads 1.75 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Another stick. Another mark.
Yep.
Are the marks on the stick now on the same horizontal plane?
You've gone from 2 meters to 1.75.
Yeah.
That's a slope, right? You've gone up.
No, not necessarily.
The land
may
has
be
got
up and down.
has risen.
Okay, that's right. The land may have risen.
Yeah.
But the 2 marks are at the same on the same horizontal plane, right?
The auto level is the one that's measuring it. Yeah.
Right. So they're on the same horizontal plane.
Yeah, meaning that the ground has changed, because that's what you're doing. You're referencing that horizontal plane to the ground.
Exactly. So, so the that's all reference to the point that you have your auto level setting.
Yep.
As long as you haven't moved the auto level.
Yep. Backside and foresight.
Yeah, it can be a backside and a foresight, or it can be a foresight and a more distant foresight, right? I'm not really interested in that though, because
it does go to show this.
I'm back to my same question. I'm still going to be on this question forever until you come up with an answer. If that auto level is perfectly adjusted, and you have claimed it has to be because you did a 2-peg test on it, then it is looking at a absolute horizontal plane. No matter how, and that won't change with distance, will it?
What you can see does, definitely, yeah.
Does that horizontal plane change with distance or not?
The horizontal plane, or what you're looking at.
The horizontal plane that you're looking at.
You realize the horizontal plane.
The horizontal plane is what
you're calling it the horizontal plane, as though there's only one.
The horizontal plane, Bev, is the auto level's crosshair. That's the horizontal plane I'm talking about.
The level.
That crosshair. All right. Okay, let's try to answer.
Crosshair's horizontal, yes.
An even simpler thing. Yeah, is the crosshair horizontal? And is that establishing a horizontal plane in any direction you turn that auto level? That's horizontal, right?
You can only measure it within a certain distance. That's like one of the limitations of the tool.
So
that's why we went originally to, like we were talking about this Southport thing. That's why we went there, to show you how far you could see over a distance.
And write down a number. Yeah,
the effective range of the auto level.
I'm absolutely with that. But I also know, right, that there are other things in that picture that I could reference. I also know in that picture that the crosshair is right at the top of your head. You know how tall you are, Beth?
Do I know how tall I am? Yes.
Of course you do. Yeah, of course you do.
Massive.
So if you walk,
how tall was I? 60 odd feet, was it? Or maybe 200 feet.
No, I'd say about an inch and a half. But
you drew me massive.
No, I didn't.
You even labeled it.
Bev. You just misrepresented it. You know you did.
Huge, Bev. You did.
No. I did not.
In your review of Chaiki's
when I was teaching you how to use stadium marks, and admit you didn't know how to. When I was showing you how to use the stadium marks, that's what those numbers were referencing. The numbers were referencing the height of Blackpool Tower, not you, Bev.
Wow. But I was the one in the picture.
Doesn't matter.
With the measuring rod.
Tower was in the picture too.
So I thought somebody had told you I was massive.
Blackpool Tower was in the picture too. That's what I was doing. You know what I was doing. You're just being a dick. So
thanks, Blue.
So if you know what your height is, if you walk 2 miles down the beach and that crosshair is still at the top of your head, what's that telling you?
Was it?
Well, what if it would have been?
It wasn't, though. Because you should have been able to see that. I think we got a GIF showing it. Exactly what happens. That's why we went there, Blue, to show everybody exactly what happens and what you see when you look too far through these tools.
Yeah, you see that the buildings in the distance are 100 feet below your elevation.
But they're not,
apparently,
though, are they?
But you know they're not, because
how can they be 100 feet below our elevation?
You've got an ocean right next to you. You've got an ocean sitting right next to you, and you know that building is not 100 feet below the ocean.
Yeah, we all know
Yet
it's
the
not.
crosshair is striking the thing 100 feet up in the air. How do you explain that other than
it's in the distance?
The Earth is curved.
No,
you're going to see this. I'll do some nice pictures of this for you. You're gonna love it.
Nice pictures of what?
Of that representation of how that observation was being done.
Wow, you're still going with Chaiki's picture from a video that you've not seen, so you don't know why we went there to go and do it in the first place.
I don't care why you went there. I've got the picture. That's all I need.
Okie dokie.
It's going to be marvelous.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah,
So
I predict
drop
really
from your elevation of 100 feet. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that would be one way you could interpret it is the elevation has dropped 100 feet, but the problem is it didn't. It can't. You can prove that because you're standing right next to the water. Your auto level is 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 feet, whatever, above sea level, and that building in the distance where the crosshair is 100 feet above sea level.
Right, so it's definitely not measurable as a vertical change from the horizontal plane then.
That is that's level deviating from the horizontal plane.
That measurable change from the horizontal plane on the vertical datum.
Your level is deviating from horizontal. That's the proof of it.
That's the measurable change. That vertical measurement that you are making, you are saying that's where level deviates from horizontal.
That's absolutely what it is.
That's all, folks.
I like the ending.
God, he's hard work.
That's a bit of a denial, wouldn't you say?
Just a bit. A tad.
Thank you, Blue, for allowing us to share that here. Very good stuff. I left a like.
Thank you, Jose. I appreciate it.
Did you put a link, Blue Marble?
Yeah, in the Daily Boom live, I posted at the times. Just a few messages back, 2 or 3 messages back. When did that happen, Blue? The conversation.
I don't remember now. It's probably a month ago.
It was.
This wasn't your most recent conversation with Bev?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there was a reason, the big debate, right? That was the reason.
Yeah, the big debate that Bev in the debate said he didn't think about the debate, he just want to represent his argument, and then a day later still referenced as a debate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I did listen to your most recent one with Bev, and by a suggestion of Sleeping Warrior said, "Oh, you got to listen to this. It's ridiculous, right?" So, and I did listen to it, and it was kind of tough to follow the description of perpendicular being vertical and horizontal in reality, right? This is how we describe it, right? But then you seem to think that's only at a point, an infinitely small point. So it was just strange to kind of wrap my head around that idea.
Really, no thanks. That's how we describe vertical in reality.
A bathtub? What'd you say?
A vertical. Do we describe a vertical as a perpendicular to anything?
That's how you confirm it. Yeah, that's how you confirm
No,
that
it's
it's
not how I
vertical.
confirm it. I use a plumb bob and I don't care what orientation it's to what.
All right, vertical is a direct measurement. Horizontal is a derivation from vertical.
Horizontal is
Only-
a direct measurement, and vertical is a
only-
derivation
all-
of
No.
horizontal.
Only the
Okay,
stuff
can you
is
show me
bad.
how to get vertical from horizontal?
Yeah, yeah. You can grab a water level and then put a square on it.
Okay. What
It's
did
just
it
parrot
use
and Bev's
in order
bullshit.
to find horizontal?
Water.
Right. Great. What did the water do?
It created a plane.
How?
I don't know how. You tell me how.
Do you need to phone a friend?
Oh, he doesn't know how.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know how. Tell him how.
Yeah, hydrostatic equilibrium. Now, the reason
Oh, okay.
why that it formed a plane is because the water was trying to go down. It's using vertical in order to give you that horizontal.
Oh, actually, it's from a plane because you have 2 points. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
we don't know even if it's horizontal or
linear
not at
horizontal
that stage.
reference.
Now you take this plane that you did with the low water level and compare it to plumb, which we rely on vertical.
Yeah. And the horizontal that was created by the water level was done so using vertical.
Vertical being what, down?
Bev showed in all of his 4 pictures now that horizontal and level are not the same. He showed it clearly in all his videos.
Yeah, I just was fascinated by the conversation they're having.
Shout out to No Thanks. Thanks for coming, man. Artemis mission, man. It landed. Look, I'm sharing a video. It's live on NASA. I've just scrolled back and I'm showing some images. You know, there's a production. They got a nice little thing going on here. So playing it in the background. A lot of imagery. Very cool imagery. That's what I'm talking about. You see. About claim. No thanks. You there? I'm not looking at. I'm looking at something else here. Let me look. Hey, no thanks. When you make a claim, do you have to prove it? You have to prove it right. You have to prove that you are correct on making a claim, a positive claim. Everybody that makes a claim that says something is certain way, they must present evidence for it, right? For what you're saying is you're correct. Anybody want to answer that question then? Besides nothing.
Well, I got into it with somebody on a different server about. They were telling me an angle may not have a rise over run relationship that is linear. Now, I asked them, well, hold on, what kind of angle? And then they said, or no, they said, is an angle physical or optical? Oh, God. And then so I asked them to back up their claim that an optical angle doesn't have a rise over run that has a linear relationship. And they just said, because error exists. So, I mean, they backed up their claim in the worst way possible by not backing up their claim. But, I mean, they'll try.
Yeah.
That's another Bev person, in fact. So that's fun.
Mm. If I say this, the air we breathe is not H2O. It's not. What we breathe is not H2O. That's it. And I just made the claim, and I'm correct because I made the claim. I mean, do I have to show evidence for that? Because I'm not saying that what the air is. I'm saying what the air is not. So, if you don't believe me that the air is not H2O, then you have to prove me wrong. Is that how it works? Farmer's Boy, I'm correct when I say air is not H2O.
You're absolutely spot on. Yes, I can't breathe H2O.
Okay.
I have accidentally tried a few times, but no, it's water. Yes. That's what H2O is. It's water.
Wait, H2O is water, right? Damn it, I'm just here like that. So air, oxygen, all right?
It's got oxygen in it, yes.
So how do you call it? Give me the short name. Give me the short name. Like H2O
air.
for water, what is for air? What's the short name for air?
Well, you're not getting a lot shorter than air. It's only got 3 letters in it.
Yeah, the air that we breathe, the oxygen that we need is O2.
All right, well, the air we breathe doesn't have oxygen.
Well, it does.
Prove it.
We're breathing. We need oxygen.
No, it doesn't have oxygen. What we're breathing doesn't have oxygen.
But it does.
It doesn't. Why? If you're saying it does, you're making a claim there that it does have oxygen. Prove it.
Well, you're making a claim that it doesn't. Prove it.
And now we're getting into it.
You're doing us what was ably demonstrated. Who did that video on Witsit the other day? I think it was MC2, wasn't it? He put this little video together, and Witsit's basically accusing all of us of making positive claims, and we've got to back them up. Totally forgetting, of course, that all flat earthers make positive claims too, and don't back them up. Yeah, making a claim and saying the Earth is flat, that's a positive claim. Well, go on then, demonstrate it.
No. I'm gonna make a claim. The Earth is not a globe. There you go.
I don't think it's about whether it's a positive or negative. It's about a knowledge. It's about a knowledge claim. When you say no, it's not. That's an affirmative knowledge claim. If you say yes, it is. That's an affirmative knowledge claim. What you're saying is, I know what it is, and that requires evidence. And if you're going to contradict known science and every single measurement that millions of people have made over this great big planet that somehow are in this massive conspiracy, and no one knows except the really smart flat earthers, then you're going to have to present extraordinary logic and evidence to be able to actually convince anybody.
I got you, right? So I say the Earth doesn't have curvature. There's no curvature to Earth.
Now, the correct thing, if you were going to be an asshole, would be, I am unconvinced of the Earth's curvature.
That's why, I'm not convinced that the Earth has curvature because there's no curvature to the Earth. It hasn't been. You cannot taste it, see it, nothing.
Now, you said it again. You said that because there is no curvature. That's a knowledge claim. Do not claim there is no curvature. Simply claim that you are unconvinced that there is curvature. Now, you're not making a knowledge claim. You're simply saying it has not been demonstrated to me that there is curvature.
No, there's no curvature. You're trying to change my point of argument to make it stronger. But I want to take the point that there's no curvature whatsoever. It doesn't exist. That's my point.
No, you've just fucked up because I was making your argument better. I was making your argument into not a knowledge claim, but just skepticism that requires a third party to come in and actually demonstrate either one way or the other.
No, I'm convinced 100% that there's no curvature and anybody can prove there's curvature of the Earth.
Wait. If you're convinced that there's no curvature, someone must have proved this to you. Get it?
No, the lack of evidence of curvature is if my claim that there's no curvature.
There are the same lack of evidence for no curvature. You can't say I accept the evidence for lack of curvature.
So you think there's curvature?
Over the lack of evidence of no curvature.
So you think there is something? If I say there's nothing here, I don't have to prove you there's nothing. You insist that there is something in there, so you have to prove there is something. If I say there's no curvature, there's no curvature. If you don't think there's no curvature, then prove me that there's curvature.
No. You say that you say something that nothing is better than nothing than some other nothing. That's what you say. We're talking about proofs of curvature or proofs of no curvature. And
no, I'm not. I cannot prove a negative. I cannot prove a negative.
Of course, you can prove a negative. That's a nonsense claim. You can't prove a negative. You can't prove a non-existence of something. We don't talk about existence. We talk about measurement.
Yeah, there's no ghosts, paranormal spirits, and wait. There's no paranormal spirit. There's no ghosts. This doesn't exist whatsoever. Now, wait. Let me finish the point. Now, if another person comes in, does it like, no, that's not true. There are ghosts. There is spirits. It exists. Then, I mean, I don't have to prove you nothing because they don't exist. If you say something is there, then you have to prove it. Even though I'm making a claim that there's nothing in there, it doesn't exist, that you're making a positive claim, not me. Shout out to Real Signals for the $5 super chat. Ho ho ho!
I think the thing there, Jose, is you're correct. You can't prove the non-existence of something, but the shape of the Earth is not either it's shaped or it's non-existent. That's not it. It is either, for what we can tell, curved or flat. It has to be one of the two. It could be a mixture. It could be something in the middle, but that just means it's slightly curved. So it isn't like that. The curve, what you're measuring doesn't exist. That's not an option. So it doesn't even come into it. So it has to be one or the other. Now, the thing when you say, there is no curvature, that's a positive claim. I don't care about my own belief. What would lead you to believe that there is no curvature on Earth?
It doesn't exist. Nobody have presented it. I haven't seen anything. People have shared hundreds of videos and clips and pictures, but I haven't seen that curvature of the Earth.
You didn't listen to what he said, did you?
No.
No, he asked me a question at the end, and then I answered it.
Yes, but he didn't talk about existence. Something exists. It's a curve. The Earth exists. It is a curve or not curved.
It's no curve.
Well, do you have any evidence for it?
I don't have to provide you evidence of no curve because everybody can witness, everybody can see that there's no curve. It's like love. Love exists unless you don't have any feelings,
I witnessed there is a curve.
Well, show it to me then. You're trying to prove me wrong.
Well,
show it to me then.
Numerous times. We showed you numerous times.
I don't know. I don't see any curvature,
Well, that you can always say. I didn't see nothing.
Let me do something. No thanks. I gotta step out for a minute. You want to tag team? You want to take it from there? You heard my argument.
No thanks.
No thanks. You want to take it over, man? Tag team. I'm out. I'll be back shortly. 2 minutes.
It's on all your shoulders. No thanks. Your time to denial.
What do you guys think? Is that a dishonest approach, what I'm attempting to do?
Dishonest AF.
What do you think, Stingray? It's silly, it's weak for a debate. What do you think for a debate, that approach?
Well, you get a lot of likes from Bev team.
Stinger, what do you think? If I just say that a lot of things doesn't exist, they're not there, haven't been shown, nobody have ever seen it. If I just take that approach about every single topic, what will be the outcome?
I don't know, but I think most people want to convince you that you're wrong. Therefore, they try and affirm that you're wrong, and try and present you with evidence that you haven't, that you're not accepting, without really figuring out what have you seen and why haven't you accepted it and what do you expect to see. So my simple question to flat earthers, and I do this with Brian Mabbott as well. It says, show me a measurement. when you give him the scenario, okay, I've got a huge basketball. We think it's a ball, but it could be a basket plate. And it's 24,000 miles in diameter. How would you help me measure it if we're on the surface? He has zero answer to that. So most people think of it in a dishonest way, saying, show me a measurement, when they wouldn't know how to measure it. And they don't know, therefore, they don't know what they would accept. Now, it's a bit different when you say, show me the evidence that there is curvature, because now we can come up with predictions. I can say, well, if there is curvature, ships will disappear from the bottom up at a certain rate that is calculable based on the height of the observer if you're looking over an ocean, and that matches. Well, if the Earth is a sphere, the orientation of the moon would change for different observers at the same moment in time based on their latitude and longitude, and that proves true. That everything that you choose as a prediction would work as a globe and never as flat Earth.
Now, if I would take that approach, right? There's 3 or 4 points, and I just continue I haven't seen it, I don't believe it, it doesn't exist point. Let's say every point that you present me, that I persuade you to present me, then that there is something in there and it does exist. If I like curvature, let's say, or I don't know, whatever, a picture of something. If I say it doesn't exist and you present it to me and you show me videos of curvature, did I, in some way, I will feel so filled with ego and pride because I have successfully won the debate from my perspective, because I have made you present the stuff and I didn't have to present anything, and I leave the other person just busting their heads and doing the research, and I'm right here chilling back and just denying what you show me when I say no. What do you think? I mean, is that fair, right? The person will get a rise of it.
Okay, so if you and I are having a debate and you're still a flat earther,
right.
I don't give a shit about showing you up or presenting you thing. You tailor an argument or an opposition to someone's argument based on the individual circumstances. So it will be different for individuals. There are some individuals that it is pointless showing them the predictions of curvature because they're so ingrained in it. It's better to ask them, what have they done to falsify it, and what would they expect to see if you falsified the flat Earth? How have you come up with a scenario to falsify flat Earth? And most of the time they don't want to address that, in which case they're just delusional idiots that are just religious freaks, so it doesn't really matter.
But then my go-to answer to that would be a very simple, it's very kind of without a lot of colors and flavors to it. I have attempted to go with my P900 and zoom into stuff. I'm trying to find the curvature, and every time I go, I don't see it. So I have falsified the flat Earth by attempting to look for the curvature, and you don't find it. Therefore, I cannot falsify the flat Earth.
So the issue with that is when you say zoom in and see the curvature, what is it that you are expecting to see, and how did you determine that wasn't there?
That's a great point, and I haven't thought about that.
You mean laterally? Do you mean depth-wise? Do you think when you look down a plank, if that plank was 50 meters wide, that if you were in the middle of it, you'd be able to see that it bends slightly? How the fuck would you do that?
Okay, here you go. Now, those are the things that you're expecting me to see. All I want to see is curvature, curve. And I never seen it when I zoom in. I mean, I don't know why all those questions you're asking me. I just want to see the curvature.
Again, what do you mean by curvature? Wait a minute. If you zoomed in and saw curvature, describe to me what that would look like to you.
It would look like the Earth is curved, like the Earth is a sphere.
Right. Describe it. In what way?
Like a spherical Earth, like Earth being a globe.
Yeah, so if you zoom in, do you mean laterally? Do you mean depth-wise? How would you see a curve depth-wise? And if you mean laterally, left to right, how much curve would you expect to see given the field of view of your camera?
I don't need none of those adjectives and things that you're saying about the certain words, Yeah. Farmer's Boy, I think. It's so annoying, right? Go ahead.
Oh, you've got a real flat earther here.
I'm no tanks right here. I'm him.
Why
I'm
the fuck
just
have we got flip-flop when no tanks is here? You know, I mean, you're doing a better job of it than him. Though.
I'm channeling him, channeling because he's quiet. No thanks. I gave you opportunity to speak up, man, because I need to take a break. My brain cannot take this for too much longer.
You've done very well, Jose, I must say. But yeah, I could.
It is easy. Actually, it's easy for me to do this. Stingray, is it easy for you? Do you think it's easy to take the approach I'm taking? Super easy, right? Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, except you didn't answer my question. Is what would you expect to see? Saying curvature, you'd have to articulate. Well, okay, just sketch me out what you'd expect to see with curvature, because most flat earthers will have an unrealistic view. They'll say, well, I'll expect to see the horizon curving slightly. Great. So now we've actually qualified what you expect to see. To be a little bit more comprehensive and scientific, you need to quantify what you would expect to see on a planet. So give me the magnitude of the difference between the left and right edges of your photo for the horizon, and what would be the difference in angle there based on the field of view of the camera, your elevation, and the size of the supposed globe. What would be the difference? And if you can't do that,
I go.
Thought about it.
I go, Doofus. Stingray, all of that you say, and I heard what you were saying, you're making it too complicated, man. I just want something simple and easy, and then we can analyze the details. All I want to see is the curvature of the Earth. Damn, that sucks, right? The answer after all of that.
No, I've got you. What we can do then, Jose, is just live pictures of the ISS and make sure that we can see the weather patterns and compare it in multiple different locations with multiple different observers to see if that bullshit is made up or not. And if it matches, we've got a problem.
So is that the only way to see the curvature? Then we cannot see the curvature of the Earth from the ground level. Okay, I got you. I understand now.
Wait a minute. You can see curvature everywhere. You can't comprehend it because it is so minute. There's a difference. In fact, there was a human study done on when, given the average field of view of a human, at what point will they detect in their lateral detail vision, the 12 to 15 degrees of your detail vision, at what angle difference would you see a nice progressive curve as opposed to a straight line? And I can't remember, but it worked out at something like 8 degrees. To see 8 degrees of curvature, you'd have to be like 80 miles above the surface.
Can you not use math, please?
Okay, I won't use math on numbers.
Numbers? Doofus, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say, the usual response is, because he said, calculate using the FOV, the limb of the curvature of the horizon. Just the response is usually, math is not reality.
Right. Will it be annoying, Doofus? Have you spoken with people like this? Is it annoying? The approach I'm taking.
Yes, it's frustrating to not to have somebody who is participating in a conversation to actively try to not learn anything.
I love it, man. I love it. It's so easy for me to take this approach, and yeah, you wanted to make it more detailed and more meticulously, but that's the whole idea. I want to see as vague as possible and keep asking for the same thing when you ask me for details. I love it. I gotta go to the bathroom this time. Go ahead. No thanks. I'm mute myself. Right.
Yeah, Jose pulled a Witsit there for a second. Said he was going to go a while ago, but stuck around.
Yeah.
I think I would like. I think it'd be interesting to sort of rev yourself up and steelman the argument to a group of obviously scientific literate individuals that are arguing for planet Earth, where they don't know who you are, they don't know that you're not a flat earther, and see how long you can actually be a flat earther for. I think that'd be interesting. It's hard. You've got to disregard fucking logic and all sorts of shit that just ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Not the truth.
Is there what was the latest on the Artemis thing? Has any magical theories come out about it from Flat Earth saying, oh, it can't be true because?
I haven't seen any, but then again, I haven't particularly looked. It'll be the usual, won't it? Oh, it's fake. It has to be. It's CGI. Rockets don't work in space. Blah 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 blah. Because that is Flat Earth's biggest bugbear. The fact that we can put stuff into space, we can look at Earth from space. Oh, it's not flat.
Right.
I mean, we knew that before we got to space anyway, but the fact that now you can, there are satellites taking photographs of the entire Earth every 10 minutes. We've got various people on 2 different space stations. We've got satellites up the arse. We're all using GPS that relies on satellites, not cell towers or pretend balloons. It's all has to be rejected, doesn't it?
Well, farmers, look at it this way. I am desperately wanting some arguments of flat Earth to be true. To be fair.
Don't hold your breath.
No, well,
Yeah.
the biggest one at the moment is I'm currently looking outside my office door, watching my 11-month-old daughter. She can now walk, and she's fucking crawling up the bastard stairs. I goddamn this gravity wasn't true. I'll be back shortly.
That's
All
what
right,
Stairgate
yeah,
for.
Oh fuck.
Oh, it's a bugger when they get to that stage and they start moving. It's like, no!
Yeah.
You got to
I was
let
like
them
that with my
fall.
little brother.
You got to let them fall 2-3 stairs. You got to. If they don't, they will fall 12 sometimes. That's not going to be good.
It's the only way to learn. Got to learn the hard way.
Well, semi-hard. I'm not talking hard. I'm talking
Oh no,
semi-hard.
but they've got to learn the lesson, haven't they?
Right.
It's even better once they've got driving
You telling
license.
them, you're not going to indoctrinate them. Tell them, look, this is dangerous. You may fall. No, that doesn't work. No, I wouldn't fall. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and then they fall and they go, oh, hang on a minute, that hurt. Ooh, not sure about that.
Right. Let them fall too. See, it hurts a little. They can extrapolate what will happen 12 steps.
And if they can't, they become flat earthers.
Right. Actually, it may what happened to Bear. He knocked his head's hard at age of 6, he says. So
Oh right,
he
didn't know that.
He probably didn't believe
As
any
the
of
great T-shirt says, there are 2 types of people in this world. 1, those that can extrapolate from incomplete data. Still got that one somewhere. It's when somebody reads that on the front of your T-shirt and then asks you to turn around to look at what's on the back, and you think, yeah, gotcha. It's all NASA's fault with this gravity. Yes, because we didn't have gravity until NASA came along. Damn that Werner von Braun for inventing NASA. Oh, are you 11th chimp? Yeah, I've got it folded away somewhere in the chest of drawers. I think I've still got that one. As soon as I saw that, I thought I'm having that. And I have had people asked to look at the back of the T-shirt to see what number 2 says. And sometimes I just give an embarrassed laugh. Yeah, that'll be you then. Don't all talk at once.
Hello, I'm new.
Oh, thank God for that. This lot weren't interested.
Shout out to Doofies. Shout out to the poll, 53 votes. I thought the Mission Impossible or Police Academy was going to get more. But Artemis Mission is winning about the favorite mission.
Yeah. I voted Mission Impossible because
that's right. That's a hype, you know, because Mission Impossible is forever.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's a good point.
I still prefer the original series, but I guess that don't get shown very much now because of who's in it. Don't know.
Never watched it.
You never watched the original series?
Didn't know it existed.
You're too young.
Well,
did it exist? Really? Mission Impossible?
Yes.
series?
Well, I didn't watch the original series first time round because I'm too young as well. But it used to get repeated all the bloody time.
No, I did. It was on TV.
Oh yes.
I guess the movies were more exciting, right? Because it's the story more condensed, I guess, more action.
Along with Ironside, the Needing Line, stuff like that.
And who was Tom Cruise?
No, who was Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Who Tom Cruise is?
No, who was Tom Cruise in the original Mission Impossible series?
Again.
Like,
Right. In the original series,
who was the main character?
Jim Phelps, who Tom Cruise now plays, was played by Peter Graves, and you'll know Peter Graves from the film Airplane.
Oh, okay.
You know the captain of the airliner that they're on.
Let me see. Okay, now I see.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's Peter Graves. He played Jim Phelps in the original Mission Impossible series.
Okay, the handsome guy right there. Okay.
That's
So
him,
he was
yeah.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
He played the same character that Tom Cruise has been playing in the films, Jim Phelps. Yeah.
Hey, it looks like Tom Cruise. He actually does look like him. A little bit.
He's a little bit taller, but then most people are.
Jose, you get your facts backwards. He was born first. Tom Cruise looks like him.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I'm not a smart man. But I know what derp is. Oh, man.
I mean, there were some Martin Landau, who, oh God, he's been in all sorts of things, but he was the chap in charge in Space 1999. Leonard Nimoy was in there for quite a while, and of course, we all know he played Spock. There were some big names in it at the time.
Captain Over,
under and done. Yeah, I mean, they back then they got 7 series out of it, I think.
Newton's third law. Newton's third law. Is that a thing? Body and field. I don't understand this law.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
That's the third.
Is that right? It's is that the third law? It's the second.
This looked to me like the thing you unclog your pipes.
Toilet.
Yeah.
A plunger.
A plunger. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's a very rough sketch of how rockets work in space. If you fling stuff out the back, then the rocket's going to get pushed forward. And that's exactly what happens. You know,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Prove it.
I don't. And here we are talking about the return of Artemis, which was launched into space and around the moon via rockets. Yeah. Been there, done that.
I just want to announce to the audience, I'm about to get out of here, but I am a little concerned that I don't. The super chat might be broken. Maybe the PayPal is broken. Wait, the super chat broken? I think I had a super chat by Real Signals, $5. I get the super chat is not broken. People is just broke. It's not the super chat, it's people. And the PayPal, I don't know if it's broken because I haven't checked, but if it's not broken, give me money. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube Land. It's getting chilly over here in Florida in the past few days, weather-wise. Breezy, not hot. It's nice. I think we're getting closer to the Christmas feel of the year.
We here had our first snow last night. It warmed up yesterday. It got foggy and it warmed up, and the cars had thawed out. I thought, oh, this is all right, because I thought I was going off the site this morning. I did almost. I nearly got there. And I woke up this morning and everything was white, and it's like, oh shit. But now the roads are clear. It's not very warm. It's probably freezing out there again now. But
does snow accumulate or yet?
Oh yeah, if it keeps, it's. I mean, we barely got an inch of snow, to be honest, but it was still enough to turn everything white, properly white. You had to go and warm the car up and clear it off so you could see where you were going.
But have you getting like big snows in history?
Yes, the winters we get now aren't anywhere near as severe as they used to be. I mean, when I was a kid, we would have snow several feet deep. We just, well, certainly here where I am, we just don't get that anymore. I mean, this is the first snow we've had 2 or 3 years, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes you get the odd flutter and you think, is that snow or is that just a sharp frost? But no, last night that's the first snow I've had here for probably 3 years.
Damn.
The winters are getting milder. There is a definite shift in the climate and in the. I mean, when I was a kid, you knew when it was winter. It was bloody cold and there was snow, and now it's just like, oh, it's a bit cold, it's a bit wet.
So if I want snow in Florida, who do I gotta talk to? To make that happen.
I don't think there's anybody you can talk to really. Not that would actually achieve anything.
Trismegistus, if you got an answer for that, don't tell me God.
And no, biggest doggers, I was not a kid during the last glacial period because that was somewhere between 11 and 12,000 years ago. I just missed that. Just.
Caveman. When was the cave? What was the last caveman? Who's the last caveman? When was that? Who's considered a caveman? When did they stop calling people cavemen?
An awfully long time ago.
What happened when? What was that point that they crossed a threshold that they were not cavemen anymore? What do you think that was?
It all depends who you listen to, but generally, they think it's when we stopped becoming hunter-gatherers and actually sort of settled in one place and started to build communities and started to learn how to farm. Because once you start farming, once you start looking after crops and animals, you can't keep moving. You can't be a hunter-gatherer anymore. You've got to stay in one place. And that, they're finding places that are 12,000 years old. Somebody who's built stone temples 12,000 years ago. You kind of think they're not hunter-gatherers. They have actually settled down and started to live in communities and learn how to farm. And so, yeah, cavemen, Christ knows, an awfully long time ago.
Yeah, there's a few feedback. Some people say that Phuket word is still the last caveman. and some people say that they still exist. They just changed the name to Flurf.
That's it. Yeah, well, yeah, a genetic throwback. Yeah, could well be. Yeah.
So was caveman ever walking around and using dinosaurs as pets, like the caveman movie, like the Ringo Starr movie?
No. Humans would recognise them, and dinosaurs missed each other by well over 60 million years.
That's too many zeros.
It's an awful lot of zeros, isn't it? Yes.
What if I take a zero of that equation? Well, I mean, still.
No, that's still a huge gap of time. We weren't around when the dinosaurs were. It's as simple as that.
So how do you know that information? Share with me. How do you know that information?
Because they can work out which geological layer the bones are found in, and they know roughly how old that geological layer is.
Who can prove that? Who is they? They can. Yes.
Paleontologists, professional dinosaur digger-uppers.
And they know.
Yeah, they know.
With collaboration with other sciences?
Of course. Geologists would be a very good one to collaborate with.
Biology?
Yeah.
I think
Psychologists?
Physicists? Astrophysicists?
Stingray guy. Chai. Was that you, Stingray?
But not flirts.
Yeah, I said paleontologists.
Yes, just what I said first, yes.
So they are the experts, those. Nobody else.
Paleontologists are the guys who go and dig fossils up.
So everything we know about millions and billions of years is paleontologists who are told us that.
Yeah, they correlate with botanists as well, though. Or paleobotanists, if you want to be really, like, time pedantic.
and it's what the Bible tells.
Yeah, Jesus was around. We got first-hand evidence of dinosaurs then, didn't we?
Well, it says
a large glass of wine for this.
God created the what was it? What it called it? Alligators first, right? Yeah.
No, the best evidence, Chike, or the best rebuttal to that is no, God did in fact not create dinosaurs, but he did create the fossils to test your faith.
That's not proven. It's not in the Bible. I'm going by the words of chapter 1 Genesis.
So do you think when the caveman used to gather in the caves, there was this other guy that wanted to build a shed outside, he wanted to build a shelter, and he threw two walls and a little reclined ceiling, and they say, "Are you crazy, you retard?" Or they think he was a retard, or was he? I mean, they didn't know he was the evolution, right, of to building separated homes and stuff. Yes.
Who are we talking about now?
Cavemen. When cavemen used to gather in caves, and then they start living outside. I bet there was before they start just going on themselves and living separated in families instead of like the whole group of people that they've had. There has got to be a first guy that built this shelter, and they didn't allow him to keep the shelter because everybody had to be in the cave.
Yeah, I wondered how that worked. So, because probably they first built, I don't know, a barricade for the cave, probably.
Right.
And then they said, hey, we can move this barricade outside the cave and build it all around us.
Yeah, I don't want these kids to look at me. I don't know. I feel off when I'm doing this to my partner, right? To my girl over here, and this bunch of kids looking. Do you think they didn't have the mentality that they?
No, I don't think that was
like animals,
a concern at all.
Okay.
You can look at me all day. I'll do it in the yard if the sun's out.
No, there was something that one walked by and they beat the shit out of him. They beat the shit out of that guy. And then he just went away because he was too hurt. He started dragging and they just kicked him out of the cave. And then he built a shelter for himself.
Maybe.
But then came a dinosaur and ate him.
I think it's safe to say that shelters came first at cold parts. Makes more sense because those who live on the trees in Africa, well, they did need this shelter from the sun. And lions.
Why did they use the lions like big tooth fins or whatever you want to call it as a weapon to hunt it?
No, I think they use rock or any other bone.
But that's a sharp object to poke in trees and shit like that and dig holes.
Well, you can use lion tooth as a weapon, but not for an arrow. Head of an arrow. You can't use it. It's not straight.
Yeah, but make a handle and you use it as a knife.
Yeah, that you can do. If you sharpen it, sure.
And to dig holes for pooping. Holes for what system did they have for pooping? Was it behind it? Everybody had a tree? Did they think they had a hole? Like a shit hole?
I think they
A high hole?
They had nature.
Oh, Jose. What
Gosh,
about
I
pooping?
I think they had nature. I mean, whenever you feel like it, you just do it.
But that could have been the case of that big fight that they kicked the dude out, that the dinosaur ate him. Maybe he pooped and then somebody stepped on it. But earlier they saw him pooping and they know that shit was for them. They didn't like the smell and they fought.
Yeah, maybe they saw the lion bury his poop, so they said, "Hey, it's good for the lion. It's good for us."
But I don't know. I think they were smarter than that. I don't
Guys, this is the wrong definition, or wrong. Sorry, this is the wrong application of the definition shit show.
There you go. Thank you.
Quite.
It's a poop show. It's not a shit show.
We're talking about cavemen and their personal needs. Is there any actual accurate depiction of how caveman was? Because I don't think they were just like animals. They had a lot more to them, like instinct to build weapons and shit like that. Do you think always, or do you think they were like more like animals without?
They had names for them. They were animals, but of the I don't know how you call it in what's the name, exact name. We had names for them: Homo sapiens, Homo whatever.
Do you think they had individual names? Call each other by
For
a
each
sound.
other?
Uh-huh.
I think, yeah.
You think so? Because of vocal cords, they were just different,
I would think that were the first so-called words they had. Is
the names to each other.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think they had a language? Stingray, for real. Do you think caveman had a language to convey their messages to each other?
As with everything, you'd have to define what you mean as language.
Vocal sounds, that they make sounds, and the other entity understood what this was telling.
Well, I'm really sorry. It depends on if it's to convey something like emotion. Then yeah, of course they did. A fucking dog can convey emotion. You know whether it's really angry with you or whether it's afraid of you. So it depends what you mean by language. If you mean very complex constructed sentences derived from intent, no.
Yes,
if you mean grunting and maybe identification by grunts, then yeah, they have that. I would think.
So not a language like to say like, I'm so bored today, the weather sucks.
No.
That came later.
Yeah, a lot later. But I mean, the thing is,
they had food, or danger or something.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about you saying, the weather's shit today, blah 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 blah. It would have been under a broader intent, or could have been under a broader intent. I don't know because I wasn't there, but it could have been under a broader intent, like just a shrug of the shoulders and then a low grunt would be, I'm dissatisfied. Now that dissatisfied intent doesn't have verbalization or words, but in the context of which it's shown, you can derive meaning. So if it's like, if that motherfucker's wet through because it's raining and does that, that's exactly what he's just said or what they've said. This weather's shit and I'm really pissed off.
And they catch because they were, I guess if they were a pack, so they will see each other and they will see certain expression with the shoulders or the rug or the face or whatever. And I guess they catch up. They will like mimic, I guess. I think that's a thing that they mimic each other and then they understood better. That's kind of the beginning of a language.
Yeah, copying, adaptation to finesse intent. and meaning is definitely the beginning of a language. Or the progression towards, deriving a more complex way of communicating.
So do you think there was trash talking or words like, hey, can I use that knife now, neighbor, because that peeling that skin of that hyena is too tough on my fingers and it's hurting me?
No.
I think I jump onto him and just grab it and drag it and start using it.
Yeah, that.
Okay. You concur, Shaik? Do you concur?
I don't know. Look, for Neanderthal, probably hyena wasn't any problem. He wasn't the small voice of Homo sapiens. They're big and strong. Don't forget those people hunted mammoth.
Mammoth, yeah.
Oh, there was some incredible megafauna, wasn't it? Absolutely huge animals.
All right, I have a little job plan line up. It might take place tomorrow. It will extend till Thursday or Friday. It might not happen. I hope it happens because I need some money. I need a few extra dollars. But if it doesn't happen, well, I guess we'll do the show again. But if it happens, if I can do the show, it will be late at night. If not, I'll try to let you guys know in Discord and make a post or something if I'm gonna be on enough. I'll try to be more consistent. Yeah. But in the next 3 days, if I get the job done, I don't have a live show. If not, if I have the live show, then I didn't do the thing.
Yeah.
Early,
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I'm fucking starving. We got to get out of here. Do some final thought. Oh, just out of I found something else to listen to. Sometimes I want something to listen in the background while I'm doing things in my house, and I was tired of listening like the Geo server. I like listening to people that I know, I recognize, but there's no good arguments in this topic anymore. As for besides when I do it myself, then it's kind of the. But I was getting too burned out on listening to all the shit, so I found something to listen to, and I have not avoided it, but I have skipped it, and I have been promoted because I watch things related to, and it's interrogations in a room, just two people, so I don't have to look at the screen because it's just either one agent or two agents versus the suspect in the seat, and they got the build up, and the techniques, and you got some narrators. They're really good explaining. Oh, this technique that's gonna be used is called like this for the interrogation, and bro, it's really cool. A lot of bone chilling. How do you say when the suspect, they just confessions, bone chilling confessions, bro, and you can imagine and picture the scenarios, crazy shit, man. A lot of crazy kills out there and stuff, like woof, out of a fucking nightmare. But it's cool to listen to, because you go in that world as like, damn, trying to pick on the brain of the person that committed the crime. Doesn't necessarily have to be deaths or killing, but some thefts or other crazy things, attacks and stuff. Good stuff, man. Yeah,
it does. Life. Sometimes you need to change, don't you? You need to listen or watch to something completely different.
Yeah. So that's interesting. It's just the psychology of the people, and you understand. You start seeing the narcissistic and the crazies. You get mental problems in between them, psychotics and proud people of what they done. The approach, the body language, and all that shit, man. Very, really interesting.
Yeah, I've watched one or two of them.
Yeah, man, and they're long. They're like, some of them are 2 or 3 hours. I just kind of half an hour. Maybe the 1 hour mark, but I put it in 1.5 speed. If it's too fast, then I put it 125. But because I'm doing something that going to take me an hour or two, so it's cool to listen to. That's the perfect timing, bro.
Yeah, a bit of background noise, take your mind off it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right, let's do some final thoughts. And I didn't do any money on PayPal. I'm sad because I don't have enough money to buy cigars, but it's okay. That's something that you don't need to support me for. I'll deal with that, thank you very much, everybody, for support. Voting in the poll and popping in the chat box and coming into Discord and throwing responsibly. Shout out to Blue for the premiere he had. Shout out to everybody that was here, participated. We still got Chaik. Chaik, final thoughts, man. We're listening, Chaik. We're listening. Nothing. Okay. Farmer's Boy, final thoughts.
You're a better flat earther than the flat earther. That's still here. That's about it, really. Thank you very much.
Very good. How do you like flip flop? Flip flop can be so annoying and so hard, but it could be so dumb that it's frustrating. Yeah.
I'm used to flip flop now.
Yeah, but today I was kind of, there was that warning. I mean, I was just doing, just playing around a little bit, but yeah, it could be really annoying to talk to a person like that about claims.
Oh God, yes.
Denial.
Yeah. When they're being like that and they're being genuine, yes, that is frustrating. And I must admit, if I get in that situation, it's easy just to walk away, because otherwise your blood pressure goes through the roof, and it ain't bloody worth it.
Well, what's paying us a shit today? I wanted to piss paying us a shit off. I gotta do that one day. I'm gonna go
because he bites every time, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the no curvature with Nasa Shield, yeah. And I'm gonna let him just interrupt me and tug on me and get angry and insult me. I want to hear somebody insulting me really good one day, and I'm gonna let it run,
Jose, you're so naughty.
It makes good YouTube. It makes good YouTube. Good watching.
I know it does.
All right. Thank you, farmers. Appreciate it, man.
No worries, mate.
No thanks. Final thoughts. Snesley wipes. The Stingray.
Yeah, good show, Jose. I just want to share something with someone. With people. That England is pretty fucked at the moment financially for a lot of people, and even in normal areas, the temperatures that it's dropped to and the amount of energy bills are actually just crippling people. So I do think people ought to, even though you might not be in England, just think about the less fortunate every now and then, and that's it.
Very well said, Stingray. And in that vein, when you're walking around in the street and you gotta walk at least to go to the gas station or to the store or something, you're not gonna stay in your house all the time. You gotta walk even across the street. If you see somebody that you think is alone, or maybe you walk by a homeless or something, say hi, good morning, how you doing, or have a great day. I hope your day get better. I hope if you don't have $1 to giving a bag of chips or whatever to the homeless, they need sometimes that to know that people acknowledge them, because it sucks to be ignored by dozens, hundreds of people sometimes. If you homeless is standing in a corner or sitting in a corner and he got hundreds of people walking by, that affects them more than, I don't know, that somebody going by and kick him because he's on the way. Acknowledge people and let them know that they exist. That's all I gotta say about that. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Tinkerfield, you're there for final thoughts.
No, I don't really have anything today. It was a good show, but I was pretty distracted doing something else.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you, everybody. Jose JG out. Boom. Thank you.